By and large, sequels tend to take what comes before, jazz it up with some extra mechanics and new systems, and call it a day. Occasionally, however, we'll see a follow-up title take an unexpected left turn that introduces some completely new ideas. Set within the same world as their previous puzzle game Golf Club Nostalgia, formerly known as Golf Club Wasteland, Demagog Studios' platformer The Cub may trade in the putters for parkour, but it's undeniably a direct sequel. Following the great ecological catastrophe, Earth has become an uninhabitable jungle of irradiated flora and fauna, complete with unnaturally pink water and unbreathable air. While the majority died in the calamity, the top 1%ers pointed blame elsewhere and then took off running to a colony on Mars. But hey, what's the fun in only destroying a planet once? The white-collared Martians now use Earth as a private golf course, all while researching the effects of the apocalypse in hopes of one day returning. An expedition that sends our young wolf cub running to avoid capture. If you played Golf Club Nostalgia, you'll quickly recognise the cub as the young boy our heroic club-wielding contemplator encountered late in the game. But don't worry, no homework is necessary before jumping in here. In saying that, there is a beautiful narrative through line that runs between the two games, so I'd absolutely suggest you play both. In order to avoid capture, the cub utilises their nimble speed and agility, able to run, double jump, swing and slide their way through the rubble and undergrowth. With a dash being added in the later stages of the game, the Cub's platforming toolset is kept purposefully simple as to emulate the 90s classics like Aladdin, but with fewer difficulty spikes along the way.
That is total bullshit!
Over the course of the game's 2-hour runtime, the various levels will have varied and clever design, with forking paths offering choices at every turn and tantalizing hidden collectibles hidden in plain sight. Controls are responsive, and the obstacles placed in your path are put there with purpose, allowing you to chain together leaps and slides in one fluid motion. That being said, this isn't a precise platformer. The Cub will often take one final step after you're done inputting a command. It doesn't seem to be a problem until a set piece calls for pinpoint accuracy. The clash between intent and execution here did leave me frustrated on more than one occasion, being stuck on a sequence that felt like the game was working against itself. This isn't helped by some less than forgiving checkpoints, but once I overcame these sections, I quickly got back in a good groove. To no one's surprise, Earth is way more beautiful without the human race screwing things up. Despite being more radioactive than Imagine Dragons, the world flourishes with greens and vibrant shades of red and pink that are now naturally occurring in the environment. This is a great pairing with the neon-lit vestiges of humanity that persist, showing that while the man-made catastrophe has forever changed the ecology, Earth lives on. The stylistic art style is warm, and the slight stutter in the character's movement further evoke the feelings of those 90s platformers. The gorgeous visuals are paired with radio nostalgia from Mars, a Martian radio station that the Cub can listen to courtesy of a helmet that he scavenged from a long-dead visitor. This holdover from Golf Club Nostalgia is an ever-present audio delight that's part storytelling device and part soundtrack. Between the haunting tracks, the presenter will offer snippets of lore that give insight to life on Mars. On occasion, Martian citizens will also call in, regaling listeners with melancholic tales of the before times, reminiscing about life on Mars and the unattainable feelings and sensations that are now locked in the past. I found this storytelling to be profoundly effective when it was used in Golf Club Nostalgia, and now, with some added context, it's all the more powerful. I fell in love with the bleak and beautiful world of Golf Club Nostalgia, and I wasn't ready to hand in my clubs when the credits rolled. The Cub may be mechanically different, but the feelings I was subjected to took me right back to sinking birdies in those collapsed skyscrapers. It may hit a sand trap or two along the way, but the platforming in the Cub is enjoyable and the world is as alluring as ever. Whether you treat this game as a sequel or a prequel, the Cub is inseparable from what came before, and both are well worth experiencing.